Trey Njoku, Sneaker Principal, and it is Tuesday night. And Tuesday nights are nights that I do a sneaker review under the Broke Sneakerhead brand. The this project of mine. I'm streaming every night, every day actually, for the Sneaker Principal channel, and this tonight I do another sneaker. I did one 2 days ago, yeah, 2 days ago, so I'm doing one now. So what am I going to be showing to you tonight? First, before I even bring the sneaker out, I have to tell you something. I'm kind of weary about sneaker culture right now. Um, the hype is ridiculous, and I know this. I'm not gonna be the first one to say this, but the hype is ridiculous. There's sneakers that come out that are amazing, but because they're not a particular silhouette or particular genre of sneakers, they're not the Jordans or they're not this or that or particular type. They're completely ignored, and it baffles the mind because then if the right person wears them or the right person has them in hand and presents them, then all of a sudden I mean, they'll vanish because everybody's gonna want them, and it's sad because we've gotten so I don't know gullible to nonsense, but that's just something that just baffles me because every time I get a sneaker, I want to know more about it. I go online, I do a little googling and a little searching, trying to find out more about the sneaker history behind it, and often some of the the most interesting sneakers are just there's nothing out there. If there is something out there, it's like very minimal and it's almost disrespectful. And it's something that I've always wondered, like, how do we shift that culture? Because at the end of the day, the hype is one thing, okay, that's cool. But for those of us who are coming from that era when the sneaker game was really starting to pop off, and I grew up with the during the time of the Adidas shell toes with no laces. You know, I remember the break dance era when that's when people started to really put things together with that hip hop vibe, and then now it's just like okay, you have the shoes just to have it, and there's no story behind it or anything like that, and it's really bothersome, you know. Maybe it's just the gray in my goatee. Maybe I'm just getting too old. I don't know, but nonetheless, the sneaker that I have this evening is something that I came across. Didn't really hear much about it. I walked into a sneaker store and it was sitting right there, and I saw it and I was like, "Yo, that is bananas right there." So let me go ahead and set this up, and you'll be hearing from me in a moment. So these are the Air Max One multi mix, and literally I walked into a Blaine's, which is a sneaker shop here in New York, and I walked around. I walk in, walk around, looking to see what's interesting. You know, if there's anything that any sleepers. You know, sometimes there are kicks people just ignore, And I'm walking around and I see this, and it's like on the highest platform on the wall. I'm thinking, yo, what are those? I mean, first of all, these are MX1s, the classic Tinkerhead field design. Um, like this is a silhouette that you cannot, and when you see it, you know what it is. But what's interesting about this is that I'm staring at it and I'm like, okay, there are many different materials on here. It's not just like it's a sneaker with I don't know, with the typical, it's something. And I'm looking at it and I can't even tell what the material is from a distance. I'm just thinking to myself, like, what am I looking at? So I grab a pair, and first I thought the mud guard right here, I thought that was leather, and I touched it and it was like, nah, it's some kind of like vinyl material, you know, and it feels good to the touch. It's kind of like has a grip to it. Then the mesh in here, and I saw this in I want to say it was like the there's another one that came out recently. Um, it's gonna haunt me. I forget the name of it, but and it had the same mesh in there. So I was like, okay, I've seen this mesh before. This material I'm not familiar with. Then the heel has the same material as the mudguard, but it's in blue, and this blue pops. I mean, like, yo, it pops. Then with this green on here, it's kind of like that limeade green on there. And I'm looking at this. Then, of course, you have just a leather swoosh in here, and I'm like, okay. But the thing that caught my eye, of course, then you still have this other material here, which kind of resembles the mudguard and the heel, but it feels just a little bit different. It might be the same thing, but it feels a little bit different. Maybe it's because it's not as much material, so I can't really feel the texture of it. But the thing that got my eye here was this suede on here is bananas. It is the real McCoy. And I was like, okay, I haven't seen suede on a Air Max One in a while, and I believe I've never had them in hand, but I believe the Paras, the Amsterdams, have a suede on there. I might be wrong. Forgive me, but it's not a material that you see too often. At least not used like this. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Okay, this is a very different take right here, as far as materials are concerned. But the thing that I thought was also really dope here was the laces. These are what you see on like trail hiking boots. This is not the traditional flat laces you see on the Air Max One. And and the cool thing about it was like I was like, okay, the color on it, the black and yellow, kind of goes with the black mudguard and this yellow tab in front, and then around the eyelet. And it just spoke to me. I was like, yo, this is some grown classic type sneakers here. And it's funny because those people who really study sneakers and the culture around it, there are certain silhouettes and styles that are cultural like icons. And the Air Max One, yes, some people love the '90s, '97s, and all that. Cool, but the beginning, the firstborn of the Air Max series, these are iconic, and and I would say almost on the same level of like the Nike SBs, like the whole culture behind the colors and the different styles, and there hasn't been as many collaborations per se with the Air Max ones compared to the SBs, where it's just like insane. But I feel like the Air Max ones need to have a much stronger connection to the culture, to the sneaker culture. I mean, there is one. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is one. There's no denying that. I don't mean to speak out of terms, but what I mean that this is a shoe that honestly you could rock with anything. I've seen people rock these in a suit. I got married in a pair of the Paras, and it just goes well. The neck breakers. It could be something as simple as the monotone colors of the obsidian, where you just have the black and white. It could be something that's all one tone. It's just a clean sneaker, and it just baffles me. Like a sneaker like this comes out and there's no fanfare whatsoever. Like, how is that possible? No fanfare, no, like, no thorough discussion about this shoe. It's because it's not hype. It's not a hype shoe, so you're not gonna get that. And I don't mean to be all like, like my man David Goggins would say, poo poo pants about this. But it's just that How do you see something this beautiful? Look at that green in the air bubble. It's just this is a well composed, well thought out shoe. Like nothing in the shoes is wasted. Everything connects. Look at that. The green, the blue, the suede here. It's like an auburn, like a burnt, an orange. Then how it connects with the sole of the shoe. Those same colors are in there. Then look at the speckles on here. Look at the speckles on there. You know, every color in this shoe is identifying the speckles. Like this was such a well composed, well thought out shoe right here. Like this is the kind of shoe where I'm like, yo, I gotta keep this one. Like I gotta keep this. I gotta rock it. I want to take care of this because it's an art piece. And clearly somebody thought enough to give this some real attention, some real attention. And but yeah, this is what I want to show you tonight. This is the Air Max one. It's called the Multi Mix, and clearly you can see why it's called the Multi Mix. You have different materials in here, and the tongue has the same mesh material that's up here. Let me clear that up a little bit. So the tongue has the same material, and I love the way they intentionally made sure that the trimming around the tongue matches the suck liner, and it's a little shiny in there. I mean, this is well thought out, really well thought out, and I can't wait to wear these. I cannot wait to wear these. They're definitely worth a cop. And they retail for $130, and luckily they have. I can go between 10.5 and 11 in Air Max ones, and they didn't have any 11, so I copped these 10.5, which I will rock. I just have to wear some thin socks, but I will rock these. And yeah, that's my take on these. And as people say, this is my story. I'm sticking to it. This is an amazing pair of Air Max ones, and I hope that at some point in the future it gets the recognition it deserves. Whoever came up with this colorway, listen, kudos to you. This is dope, and I want to see more. All right. So with that being said, do me a huge favor. Subscribe if you like what we're doing here. Hit the notification bell so that when I post more videos, you'll be aware of it. This channel, I cover a plethora of things. This is not a sneaker channel. This is a channel of multiple interests of mine. Sneakers is a big part of it, but I also talk about education. I talk about tech, and so this is you're getting a glimpse into the sneaker principles mindset. And yeah. Again, with that being said, thank you so much, and I'm going to go ahead and pack up these shoes. All right, peace.